Hello lovely people, welcome back to the part 2 of this sewing tutorial. If you did not watch the part 1, please go and watch. I will drop the link on the description box so that you can really understand how we come about the pattern drafting and the cutting of this fabric. So let's get into the tutorial. So these are my pieces, both lining and the main fabric. So now I will go ahead and join all the pieces. I will first of all start with my front before going to the back. So I will keep my back aside along with the linings. So I will go to my sewing machine. I will turn it this way. I will use the 0.5 inches allowance and I will sew it. I'll do the same thing to this other side. So I've joined my fabric. Can you see? I've joined this is my front panel. I've ironed it. I've gone ahead and ironed it. Can you see? And this is my lining. I've gone ahead to iron it as well. This is the right side. This is the wrong side. For the front and for my back, I've joined the zipper side and the upper side and I've ironed it. I've done same for this other part of the back. So what I will do now will be for me to join the remaining part of the back or join this way as well. That is for the back. Then for the front, I'm just going to turn it this way, right side of my lining facing the right side of my fabric. Then I'm going to use my sewing allowance. Remember, I made use of 0.5. So I will use the 0.5 sewing allowance here and join it. After joining it, I will show you and tell you what next to do. So I've gone ahead and joined my lining to my main fabric. Can you see? This is how it looks like. And this is my right side. So what I will do now will be for me to join the armhole, the sides, and the down part. So I've attached my lining, I've ironed it, I've overlocked all the rough edges. So what I'll do next will be for me to work on the back panel. I'm going to attach the back panel using my zipper allowance so that I can attach the front to the back and also the gathered down part of it. So the zipper allowance was 1.5. So we'll go ahead and sew it. So I've attached the back. Can you see? What I'll do now will be for me to attach my front and the back panel. I'll do that by placing them right side facing each other. I'm going to pin it down. So I'll go ahead now and measure the waist measurement. The waist measurement I'm working with is 29 inches. Divide my 29 inches by 2. And when I divide it by 2, I will have 14.5. I'll mark my 14.5. Then the remaining one will be used as my sewing allowance. What I will have will be 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. So 2 inches on each side. I'll just mark my 2 inches. Then I will mark the same 2 inches on this other side. Then the bust measurement I'm working with is 34.5. So when I divide that by 2, I'm going to have 17.25. So I'm going to measure what I have here. So I'll mark my same 2 inches here. So now I'll go to my sewing machine and join the both side seam. So I've joined it. The next thing now will be for me to cut the fabric for the gathered at the down part. So what I did here was for me to go ahead and measure the circumference of this half length. What I have here is 29 inches. I went ahead and multiplied the 29 inches by 3 because I want my gather to be a bit full. That is 29 times 3, which is 87, plus my sewing allowance. So I had to cut about 90 inches. You can decide to multiply the waist by 3 as the same way I did, or you can multiply by 2.5. You don't have much fabric. So it all depends on how full you want it to be. So I went ahead and cut this material. The length, when I join them, the length will be about 90. And for you to get the width of this, you need to consider the length of the top. So the length of the top, I need about 22 inches. So I'm going to minus my off shoulder. The off shoulder, I made use of 6 inches. Starting from my 6 inches here, I'll place it this way. Then what I have here is 15 inches. So this 15 inches, I'm going to minus my joining allowance of 0.5. So I have 14.5 inches. So what I will do will be for me to go ahead and minus that 14.5 from the full length of the top. I want the full length to be 22 inches. Here, I need 8 inches plus 1 inches. I will use 0.5 to gather it, and I will use 0.5 to attach each. So that is 9 inches. Then the remaining one that I have here, going to hem it using 2 inches. So I will first of all go to my sewing machine and join this other part. I join the 2 pieces together so that there will be one. After joining it, I will go ahead and join for my lining. After joining for my lining, I'm going to attach the lining. So I've attached my lining to my main fabric. Can you see? So now I will go to my sewing machine and gather it. After gathering it, I'll bring it for you to see. So I've attached my lining to the main fabric. I have folded as you have seen. So I've gone ahead to gather it up to my 29 inches, which is the measurement of the waistline for this dress, the circumference of the waistline. And I've kept about 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance, the same for this side. So now the next thing I will do will be for me to fold it this way, and I'm going to notch my center so that I will attach it to the center of this other one. So I will mark the center. I use my chalk. You can decide to notch it, but I don't want to cut the thread that I have overlocked. So that is my center. I will grab my upper bodice. I will mark the center as well. So this is the center for my upper bodice as well. So I will place it this way, right side of my upper bodice facing the right side of the down part, the gathered part. So I will match the both center together and I will pin it down. So I'll go ahead and attach it. I've attached the down part. Can you see? This is how it looks like. This is the inside. Can you see how neat it looks like? So beautiful, right? So now I will go ahead and install my zipper. This is the zip I'm using. Though it's too long, I'm going to cut it off. So I'll go to my sewing machine and install my zipper. I'll tell you the next step to do. So I've installed my zipper, as you can see. So the next thing will be for me to go ahead and cut the sleeve. So for you to cut the sleeve, go ahead and cut your normal off-shoulder sleeve. I have a detailed video on how to cut your off-shoulder sleeve, and then go ahead and add 6 to 7 inches, depending on how full you want the gather at the shoulder to be. So I've installed one side of the sleeve already. So I'm going to show you how I did that. This is my sleeve. I've cut it already. So the first thing will be for me to sew the down part, which is the side that I attached the elastic. So to do that, you can see the line that I've drawn already on the fabric, and this is the elastic that I'm using. For you to know the width of the elastic, just measure around where the elastic will be. Then after that, go ahead and minus 1 or 1.5 depending on how tight you want it to be. Sew your elastic on the fabric. Then as you sew it, you'll be drawing the elastic. So let's go to the sewing machine. I will show you how I did it. Sew directly on the elastic. As you are sewing it, you'll be drawing the elastic, as you can see me doing so. When you draw it, it will gather it on its own. Can you see? Make sure you draw the elastic to get to the end part of the sleeve. So that part of the sleeve is done. Can you see how beautiful and neat it looks like? So now let's go ahead and gather the shoulder part. That is the part that will be attached to the shoulder. So I'll just run a straight stitch, then I'm going to draw it together here. And this is the band that I'm using. Can you see there is a band on the sleeve? So the band measures 0.75 inch when it's on 4, but I cut about 1.5. So when I folded it, it gives me 0.75. So I'll go ahead and gather it. Before gathering it, I'm going to measure my band to know the length of the band. Then I'm going to gather it based on the length of the band. Can you see? I'm gathering it now. So I'll go ahead and mark the center of my sleeve after gathering it. Then I will mark the center of my band as well. So I will place the center of the sleeve to the center of the band. Then I'm going to join them together. So I will go ahead and join them. Can you see? So this is my sleeve after joining the band and also attaching the elastic. So can you see how beautiful it looks like? So the next thing will be for me to attach it to my sleeve now. So I will measure where I want it to be. First of all, measure the upper chest of the person you are sewing for. When you measure it, then you know where to attach your sleeve. So I've attached the both sleeves. Can you see? It looks so nice and beautiful. So we have come to the end of this tutorial. This is the final outcome of our beautiful top. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share our videos, turn on your notification bell so that when I upload new sewing tutorial, you'll be notified. See you on next video. Bye bye.